Hello, my name's Melissa. Welcome back to my channel. And today I have some plants to share with you. I have seen so many videos talking about clearance plants at Lowe's, so I had to go check it out for myself. And I got each of these plants for $7 each. They were half price. I'm half tempted to go get more, but I gotta get these in the ground first. So that's what I'm gonna do today. But real quick, let's just go over what we found here. These three here are Blue Marble Salvia from Monrovia, and they were in the clearance area. They have some discolored leaves and some of the blooms are spent there, but I feel like they're gonna be fine once we get them in the ground. I'll get rid of some of these leaves and cut the blooms back, and I think they're gonna be great. Then over here, we have a Proven Winners Amazing Daisies Daisy May. That was also in the clearance section for half off. You can see we've got beautiful blooms here, but it had several spent blooms there that I just clipped off, and the plant itself looks great. And then over here, these ones were not in the clearance area, but they were still half off. This first one here, Proven Winners, meant to be Royal Raspberry agastache, if I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure, but from what I understand, it is a type of anise hyssop, which I have some that I grew from seed in my backyard. But this has these gorgeous pink blooms. It gets, how tall does it get here? 28 to 32 inches. And then I got another one. This one gets a little taller. It is an agastache anise hyssop, meant to be queen nectarine. Double check the height on that. Yeah, this one gets up to 36 inches. And that has this beautiful peachy bloom with kind of a pink there as well. So I'm very excited about that. Then I got the famous and popular Proven Winners Cat's Pajamas. Yes, this was also half off. I'm very excited about that. I'm half tempted, like I said, to go get some more, but this I want to plant in my front area. And then this one is a rhododendron, polar night rhododendron. So that's gonna bloom in the spring and looks like it's gonna like part sun. There we go. And I've never owned actually any of these plants, so these are all new to me, but I want to get these planted out today and start enjoying them in the garden. I decided to start my planting in my backyard garden to the right of my main veggies and flower beds. I'm really trying to expand my flower bed further and further to the right, and you'll see here in a minute when I plant the rhododendron that I'm really pushing it out. I don't have a bed created there yet, but the goal is to eventually get it all the way over there. So here we are planting the meant to be queen nectarine agastache. This is a full sun perennial. It is hardy in zones 5 through 9. And as I mentioned, it gets 30 to 36 inches tall. And they want you to space them 32 to 36 inches apart. This plant is heat and drought tolerant, and it says it performs best in full sun with good drainage. So this area definitely gets a lot of sun and should be good for this plant, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those beautiful blooms. While all the plants were sitting on my back patio, I was seeing a bunch of bees and other pollinators come around them, so that's also a really good thing. All right, so I didn't record footage of planting the Amazing Daisies Daisy May, but this is another full sun perennial from Proven Winners. It gets 12 to 24 inches high, hardy in zones 5 through 9. Now over here, I'm planting out my rhododendron further to the right of those garden beds because, like I said, the goal is to push that bed further over. And I definitely used a measuring tape to figure out the spacing on that because for the polar night rhododendron, the height gets 2 to 3 feet. However, the width gets 5 to 6 feet. So I don't want to be stuck in a pickle with that pressed up against the fence like my instinct tells me to do. But this is a part sun plant that blooms in the spring with some, looks like pinkish purple blooms. So that's going to be very nice to have in the backyard as well. Now with all the plants that I did, I put some composted manure around them as well as some mulch. Here for the plants in the backyard, I just used grass clippings, which you'll see here in a moment. Oh, and here I'm realizing that I had the plant turned the way that I didn't want it to be. So there, just a quick little pivot.
That's better.
Good to go. Much better. Yes, here we are with the grass clippings. I find that the grass clippings do just fine in retaining water, and they help break down in the soil and add nutrients. So I'll have to do a little research and see if there's something better. But yes, here we are, all planted in.
Really good. It's gonna be nice.
Here you can see the orientation a little better. That is not the permanent place for our furniture, by the way.
Beautiful.
Here's my front side garden bed. Mostly annuals over here. These are Sweet Williams right there. 1, 2, and a third one over there. Then some dahlias and impatiens. Alyssum looking awesome. Purple. And then I've got some hostas there, but otherwise these are annuals and can be moved around. So I'm just trying to figure out how my new plants are gonna look good in here. I popped these white Kilimanjaro marigolds in and they're doing great. They're doing great in the backyard too. So, but they are an annual, so they're not coming back next year. So I'm thinking about those coming back every year. That would be really pretty right there. And then putting the salvias in here. The hostas are right there, but I can always move those down to the shadier side. I planted those before I really knew what the sun situation was over here. So that is where I'm at right now. I decided to start in this front side flower bed with the proven winners meant to be Royal Raspberry Agastache, and this really is a beautiful plant. It has these pink blooms and even the foliage has kind of a pink color. It's just gorgeous, and it blooms from midsummer to early fall, hardy in zones 5 through 9, and as I mentioned, it gets 28 to 32 inches tall. So this is going to be a really striking plant to have in the garden. And this plant is drought and heat tolerant, which is also a great bonus.
Finally. Oh my.
Next, I moved on to the Blue Marvel Salvia from Monrovia. And I got 3 of these, and I had 3 hostas in the area. So I decided to just move the hostas down to a shadier area. And I think that was a good move. The blue marble salvia is kind of a smaller variety. It only grows 10 to 12 inches. It also blooms in both spring and summer as well. To help facilitate that blooming, I did go ahead and deadhead the spent blooms on there, and I went ahead and removed some of the brown leaves. This garden bed has been such a work in progress, and it is so rewarding to finally see it come together and looking nice with some flowers blooming. Very rewarding. And this is the Cat's Pajamas Nepeta from Proven Winners. I have seen this in so many videos and I have been wanting one, so I am so excited to finally have one in my garden. This is a shorter variety, 12 to 14 inches tall, and spacing is 18 to 20 inches, hardy in zones 3 to 8, and it blooms from late spring into early fall. All right, all finished for the day. Here we go. We have our Nepeta Cat's Pajamas over here. I moved one of my impatiens over to a shady area. Put that one in there. And then the 3 salvias took the place of the 3 hostas. And I think they are looking better already. Deadheaded them. They got a nice drink of water. I think they look good. And then the beautiful Raspberry Queen agastache. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I love it. The interesting leaf color is so eye-catching. I think I need more of that in this area. And then our little friends that I moved, they're just over here, and they're gonna do just fine. Thanks for hanging out today, and I'll see you in the next one.